When you think of 80s movies, you probably think of Back to the Future, and there was actually a very interesting past and story to the making of Back to the Future and how it was made, and I'm here to tell you about it. So, without further ado, get something to eat and drink, and let's get right into it. It all started at the campus of the University of Southern California, where Bob Gale and Bob Zemeckis were recently graduated filmmaking students. One of Gale and Zemeckis' first movies was 1941, which they made with Steven Spielberg, and it was the first movie that Spielberg directed that flopped. They eventually made another film called I Want to Hold Your Hand, but that also flopped. While Zemeckis and Gale were filming a movie called Used Cars, which also failed by the way, Gale had an idea. Gale returned to his hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. There he went to visit his parents, and when he went into the basement, he found his father's old high school yearbook, and he thought about something. Would I have been friends with my dad if I'd been in the same high school with him? And that's how the idea came into his head. When Gale returned back to California, he told Zemeckis about it. Zemeckis loved the idea, and after spitting out ideas for the movie, they set up a meeting with Frank Price, who is the CEO of Columbia Pictures. Frank Price liked the movie idea, and soon Zemeckis and Gale started writing the script. Some ideas that Gale and Zemeckis thought of were not in Back to the Future that you remember, like Doc Brown sending Marty back to the future through a nuclear bomb test, and finally Doc having a pet chimp. Obviously all those ideas were changed, and then one day, Frank decided he wasn't making the movie. Gale and Zemeckis didn't know why Frank didn't want to make the movie. Gale and Zemeckis were devastated with no other way of making the movie, really. Zemeckis eventually got caught up in a project called Romancing the Stone, which was the first movie that Zemeckis directed that did good. After the movie, Spielberg returned to Zemeckis and offered to make Back to the Future with his new movie company, Amblin Entertainment. Obviously, Gale and Zemeckis accepted this offer, and soon casting was open. Michael J. Fox was the first actor considered for Marty McFly, but at the same time he was filming the TV show Family Ties, so Gale and Zemeckis couldn't use him. They eventually found actor Eric Stoltz, and he would be chosen to play Marty McFly. The rest of the cast consisted of Christopher Lloyd as Dr. Emmett Brown, Leah Thompson as Lorraine Baines, Crispin Glover as George McFly, and Thomas Wilson as Biff Tannen. The release date of the movie was May 24th, 1985. Filming this movie sounded very frustrating because of the two actors. Eric was said to be a tough actor to film with. Eric kinda made the movie a darker tone, and he argued with Gale and Zemeckis about Marty as a character. Gale and Zemeckis worked out a deal with Gary Goldberg, who was the executive producer at Family Ties. The deal was that Michael would shoot Family Ties at the daytime and Back to the Future at night. Michael was handed the script for Back to the Future, and he loved it. Eric Stoltz was fired, and Michael was the new Marty McFly. Crispin Glover was also hard to work with. For example, he would keep fidgeting, like messing up his hair. Crispin also said that George in the new future was only happy because of his money. Zemeckis was pissed at Crispin and yelled at him, and Crispin was scared that he would get fired, and he finally stopped. The release date was pushed from May 24th, 1985 to July 19th, 1985. Editing was in a rush, but finally the first and second screen was shown and both audiences loved it. Spielberg was amazed by how well it did, and it was able to be released on July 3rd, 1985 with a little bit more money. As we all know, Back to the Future did amazing, pulling in a whopping $388.8 million. Two more Back to the Future movies were made, and they both did amazing as well. Back to the Future Part 2 made $332.9 million, and Part 3 making $246 million. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Please like and subscribe if you do like this. I will be making more, and yeah, I really hope you enjoy the series. But yeah, I hope you all have a great day. See you later, and goodbye.